Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. World Exchange Conference discusses in Muscat modern orientations for global securities markets and strategies of diversifying sources of income for companies. The Scientific Forum Intellectual and Technical Production in Oman stresses noticeable development in educational techniques in the Sultanate. And the Steering Committee for Initiative for Economic Diversification Tanfeed reviews approved indicators for initiatives and achievements percentage for the current year. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The World Exchange Congress started its work today in Muscat with the participation of more than 250 economic and financial experts from 60 countries. It tackles challenges facing the region markets amid unstable future of the oil prices as well as developing securities markets industry. The conference seeks to come up with recommendations that enhance the investment environment and attract capitals. The conference discussed the role of securities markets in enhancing innovation and supporting future economic projects. It included 4 work sessions with the participation of a number of CEOs from global exchanges. The conference came as an opportunity for exchanging meetings among workers in exchanges and investment institutions around the world. The conference was inaugurated under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. The Steering Committee supervising the initiatives of the program during its meeting at the headquarters of the General Secretariat of the Council reviewed the indicators adopted for the current year 2018 for the initiatives of the outputs of the National Program for Enhancing the Economic Diversification Tanfeed and the percentage of its achievements. During the meeting, the work of the National Program outputs initiatives, the project classification projects that are partner with the private sector, the capacity building initiative of government institutions for the classification of projects, and the initiative to establish 2 governmental institutions for the management of government projects were followed up. In continuation of exerted efforts from various government and private bodies for providing job opportunities, the number of appointees reached 13,443 job seekers in the period from the 3rd of the last December until the 26th of February, within the plan of Council of Ministers for employing 25,000 job seekers as first stage. The Sultanate is advanced in educational technologies at universities and schools. This was stressed in the Scientific Forum Intellectual Production and Technical Openness in Oman. It gathered a number of Arab academic personalities to discuss ways of modern technical education. The forum, which is organized by Arab Open University, seeks to find modern environments and means in educational system the Arab world. The participants of the forum stressed that the Sultanate noticed early the importance of technical education, which reflected positively in the Sultanate's progress in information technology at international level. The forum was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Abdul Mun'im bin Mansour Al-Ahsani, Minister of Information. Ideas and youth future visions were discussed in a work session held in the Supreme Council for Planning. The discussion session reviewed formatting the youth future ambitions for Oman 2040. The session came to enhance the social participation in formatting the Vision 2040. It also discussed the plan of society communication and the importance of the community participation in forming the future vision. It's worth mentioning that the vision will be considered as a guide and a basic reference for planning work in the upcoming decades. The reality of media forwarding for children and its challenges were discussed in the seminar of Our Children and Future Media within the activities of Muscat International Book Fair. The seminar, which targeted various segments in the society, called for encouraging initiatives and media experiences specified for children. The seminar aimed at awareness of media, importance of educational media for children, in addition to highlight the role of media in raising generations and develop their thoughts and skills, and also encourage institutions of making children media to renew and develop media content. The two-day seminar included a number of work papers and children radio programs. Still to come, our news bulletin. A most modern office building is to be built in Al Khuwair by Al Khonji Real Estate and Development. Welcome back. And now for international news. A Russian-ordered humanitarian pause has gone into effect to allow civilians to leave a rebel-held enclave near Damascus, giving a respite to the residents of the besieged area, which has been under intense attack for weeks. At a crossing point manned by the Syrian military between the eastern Ghouta region and Damascus, where preparations were underway to allow civilians to leave. Buses and ambulances were seen waiting at a parking area, but there were no signs of anyone coming out of the enclave. The Wafidin crossing point is near Douma, one of the largest towns in the eastern Ghouta, is only a few kilometers from Damascus. The Russian 5-hour humanitarian pause comes as a UN ceasefire failed to take hold in the enclave, and residents and aid groups said such unilateral pauses were not internationally monitored. Officials from Iran and Serbia took part in a business forum in Belgrade today. It was attended by Iranian Foreign Minister Javed Zarif and Serbian Minister of Trade and Tourism and Telecommunications Rasim Lajic, as well as businessmen from both countries. During the forum, Zarif said one important issue was the establishment of direct flights between Tehran and Belgrade, which will resume in March 2018 after an 8-year break. Zarif also stated that Iran would work closely with its Serbian partners in order to remove any possible obstacles when it came to trade and investment between the two countries. Jakic, meanwhile, said he believed that Zarif's visit could mark a turning point in relations between the two countries. The Iranian foreign minister also met with Serbian parliament speaker Maja Gofic and Serbian Prime Minister Ana Brnabić today. Prosecutors today demanded a 30-year prison term for former South Korean President Park Geun-hye for alleged bribery, abuse of power, and other crimes in a landmark corruption case that marked a stunning fall from grace for the country's first female leader and conservative icon. In the final trial session, before a verdict is issued, prosecutor also demanded a fine of $110 million and said Park has shown no remorse for disrupting constitutional order and damaging the public's trust on state power. The Seoul Central District Court will issue its verdict on April 6th, 11 months after the trial began. Today, Park's lawyers argued that the prosecutors have been unable to fully prove their charges against her. French President Emmanuel Macron said that UK can remain in a customs union with the European Union after Brexit, but it will not give them full access to the single market. Macron spoke today during a news conference with Norway's Prime Minister Erna Solberg. Solberg said she thought it would be difficult for Britain to accept a treaty similar to the one Norway it has with the EU because of the regulatory requirements it imposes. Norway is part of the single market but has agreed to the EU's other rules and to pay into the EU budget. Today, Britain's Trade Minister Liam Fox said that the UK must leave the EU customs union to strike new trade deals after Brexit, widening a major fissure within British politics over future trade relations with the bloc. The issue is a major fault line in UK Brexit plans. Snow and high winds hit parts of Britain, leading to train cancellations and warnings of delays on the roads and in the air in the coming days. The intense winter weather has been dubbed the beast from the east by the country's tabloids, citing Siberia as the source of Britain's misery. Forecasters say parts of Britain will feel colder than the Arctic Circle because of the low temperatures and high winds. Doctors are warning that the already stretched National Health Service may have trouble coping with extra patients affected by the weather. The Met Office forecasters predicted accumulation of snow by tomorrow in eastern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Now back here in the Sultanate, the parent application of the educational portal of the Ministry of Education won the World Summit of Information Society Award, WSIS 2018, in terms of ease of access to information and service delivery, digital response to information, and digital indicators available through the application. This award is one of the world's leading awards for the best services, applications and content. It includes 18 categories directly related to WSIS, lines of action and representatives from 168 states. Sultan Qaboos University SQU, in cooperation with Oman Technology Fund, organized an introductory lecture on the fund and discussions session on the future of the innovation in Oman. This activity comes within the context of the current approach towards boosting the culture of innovation in the Sultanate and upgrade the level of awareness of individuals and institutions on the importance of innovation in social and economic developments, as well as engaging various authorities in the Sultanate in setting up a new practical framework to create a vital innovation center. Developments related to maps of Al-Ajyal College, the surveys and the detailed studies of the college facilities were discussed by the main committee of Al-Ajyal College project in its first meeting for 2018. The meeting also reviewed implementation of resolutions of the previous meetings. It was presided over by Her Excellency Aisha Al-Siabia, chairperson of the Public Authority for Crafts Industries and head of the main committee of Al-Ajyal College. Oman Special Olympiad celebrated to honor the intellectual disabled, and the institutions supported the association. The celebration reflected the voluntary role provided by the association to develop abilities and skills of the disabled people to help them to achieve the local and international achievements. The ceremony included a number of entertainment elements and intellectual games, as well as theatre activities. Talking during the event, His Highness Sayyid Faisal bin Turki Al Said, chairman of the Oman Special Olympiad, pointed out to challenges facing this segment of the society, calling for concentrated efforts to involve them in the society. It's worth mentioning that Oman Special Olympiad took part in a number of international events and achieved advanced positions in sports competitions. In order to stress the depth of relations between the Sultanate and France, the Omani French Museum hosted a photography exhibition of Frédéric Lellemont, the official photographer of the Foreign Ministry of France. The event was organized by the French Embassy in the Sultanate in cooperation with the Ministry of Heritage and Culture. It showcased a number of photographs taken by the French photographer for people he had met during his travels for official meetings. The photographer, Frédéric, has won a number of international prizes. He has been the official photographer for the French Foreign Ministry since the 1980s. He depicted eye-catching natural scenes, human feelings, the simplicity of old people and children. Al-Khanji Real Estate and Development Aqar unveiled its state-of-the-art building project, Office 1991, today at a ceremony attended by several businessmen and top-level officials from the real estate sector. More details in following reports by Saleh bin Khalfan Rahbi.
Aiming to meet the aspirations and needs of different companies and markets, Al-Khanji Real Estate and Development Aqar unveiled its state-of-the-art building project, Office 1991, in Al-Khuwair area in the Wilaya of Bosher. The project will use smart technologies to provide an ideal working environment where tenants can control their offices remotely through mobile phones.
Office 1991, of course, it is a smart office. It's perfect for modern businesses and it's a modern environmentally offices, which will help all the businesses to really grow even better, because you are providing them with a better location, a better business environment, and it is already up to date when we are talking about, you know, a smart office, and you can really do a lot of things even from your mobile and abroad.
The building will contain 166 intelligent office units distributed over 8 floors. It will also include 4 underground floors for parking and a ground floor for retail centers. This project is expected to be completed in 3 years. Office 1991 is designed with aesthetically balanced blend of originality, modernity, and an elegant architectural design, retaining the beautiful touch of ancient Omani heritage. The building will be equipped with smart, sophisticated, and latest systems for communication, fire extinguishing, ventilation, and centralized air conditioning, in order to create the best working environment for both companies and employers. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi, Muscat.
A workshop was organized in the Wilaya of Khasab to shed light on the General Touristic Scheme Preparation Project 2016-2020 for the Governorate of Musandam. The project is part of a comprehensive tourism strategy of the Sultanate. The workshop discussed challenges facing the tourism sector in the Governorate of Musandam, such as its logistical location, infrastructure, tourism promotion, and facilitation procedures for visitors and tourists. The participants also exchanged views on the development of some touristic sites in the Governorate. And now for the focus around the Sultanate. Clear skies prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog at night of the governorates of Wahira and Al Brahmi. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly light to moderate and seasonably moderate with maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. More details on your screen. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. World Exchange Congress discusses in Muscat modern orientations for global securities markets and strategies of diversifying sources of incomes of companies. The Scientific Forum Intellectual and Technical Production in Oman stresses noticeable development in educational techniques in the Sultanate. And the Steering Committee for Initiative of Economic Diversification Tanfidh reviews approved indicators for initiatives and achievements percentage of the current year. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and the studios. Thanks for your time. Good night.